is the Iron Spider from Hot Toys from the movie Avengers Infinity War. A movie that both entertained me and surprised me to no end. A lot of that had to do with Spider-Man and his heart-pacing and heart-wrenching scenes. This suit is a long time coming and something I've been waiting for some time, and I'm not alone. It first made its memorable appearance at the very end of the movie Spider-Man Homecoming. I mean, the very end, which to me was perfect. The movie was a fantastic, thrilling, and importantly, an interesting ride, and that had a lot to do with Tom Holland's performance and the intelligent and tightly written script, which was culminating in an ending that the movie was seemingly building towards. But Peter takes a different path, leaves the Iron Spider and Avengers behind and keeps his normal teenage life. Well, except for the spider powers, but he decides to stay as a kid and forego the Iron Spider suit. Before the movie ends, the audience gets a little morsel of things to come with the Iron Spider, keeping us wanting more and wanting to see that suit in action and a figure of that sweet, sweet suit. Our dreams came true, of course, with Avengers Infinity War and this Hot Toys figure, which absolutely looks stunning. It's an amazing looking figure and totally worth the wait for me. This techno-classic design is just brimming with coolness. Let's start with the head, which is Spider-Man in all its glory. With a very metallic shine and detailed surface, I've always loved the oversized eyes of the Spider-Man face mask, and Hot Toys did that well with this head. Something I did not know is that the head is actually attached to the rest of the body with a magnet. The chest looks pretty awesome with a giant spider right in the middle. With the chest, the metallic-like texture and brilliance of the colors are in the forefront and very apparent, especially with that giant spider emblem. The back looks okay, except for these 4 protruding flaps, which is removed to place the pincers. I wish there was another way they could have done this. I guess with the inevitable re-release in, 5 years, we'll see another better way to integrate the pincer system seamlessly. But presently, it's okay. It's not like you're going to be posing him with his back turned when all the goodness is at the front anyways. The arms continued the design of the Iron Spider suit with the gold trimming nicely accentuating the shoulders, elbows, and those awesome-looking spider shooters. Out of the whole suit, it's these shooters that look the most sci-fi and alien in nature, and I love it. And this is coming from a person who prefers to see the web shooters hidden. It's an electrifying and eye-catching piece of equipment, and the clearest sign of Spider-Man's suit's interesting evolution. The legs are pretty simplistic in terms of design and colors compared to the rest of the figure, but it provides a nice contrast and allows the suit to breathe, rather than overflow the suit with colors. It's a nice contrast, especially the top of the legs, where the black pseudo-techno-sci-fi lines are more apparent just above that dark blue color. The boots tail end the body back to the red and gold colors. As for articulation, the head has a pretty good range of motion given that it's connected to the body by a magnet. He can practically turn his head anywhere. But there is a lack of articulation in the neck, something I wish they had found some way to do in order to better pose the head to add more dynamic range to the rest of the body. The torso can twist and lean a bit. He can also do some ab crunches. But due to the material the suit is made up of, you're going to get these folds in the suit, which is very apparent not just for the torso, but for portions of the arms and legs as well. I'm okay with this aspect of it, but my problem is having creases appear on the suit after you get them back in standing order. And if you look closely, you can see those lines appear after moving the figure around. In my previous unboxing video, I did mention my apprehension of moving the figure around since the suit was so tight, and this was basically the reason why. It appears, for now anyways, that the material is pretty strong and it's not going to tear anytime soon, but that will definitely stop me from keeping the figure in any dynamic poses for too long. The arms and shoulders have a good range of motion, with double-jointed elbows and peg-swiveled hands. The top of the legs can shift to the side, it has double-jointed knees, and there's some toe articulation. Accessories include a Tom Holland head, which looks great. I'm just as thrilled with the head as I am with the Iron Spider suit. To give you some history, this is my first Spider-Man Hot Toys figure ever, and I've never seen a Tom Holland sculpt in real life, be it Friends' figures or at shows, and this looks exactly like Tom. Just recently, the Hot Toys Facebook page did release some pictures of the figure, and when I first saw him, I thought that the neck looked really odd and elongated when you had this head on. And that really depends on the placement of the head and the angle. To me, he looks perfectly fine head on, but with side shots, especially if he's looking up, it does tend to look strange. But aside from that, I think this is one of the best head sculpts I've seen from Hot Toys this year. The second head is exactly like the head the figure already comes with, but this one has a light-up feature. And having this feature built in, the eyes on this head are produced with more shine and vibrance to really enhance that light-up feature. The lights are activated by a switch found at the bottom of the head. Actually, I would even prefer to have this head on even without the lights than the head that the figure has on. And we come to the pincers. I was not a fan of the pincers and really preferred the look of the Iron Spider without them in the movie. Yeah, when they first appeared, my interest was piqued, but I really don't like them in the movie, and that hasn't changed. However, I absolutely like how they look on the figure. The pincers look very different to the preliminary pictures Hot Toys released when the figure was announced. Instead of gold found throughout the entirety of the pieces, there's dark blue colors mixed in, giving it a bit more color variety. The pincers, which are ratcheted, also have a good bit of articulation, with rotation at the base and several points of articulation found throughout. The pincers are placed on the back by removing the plugs on the back like so. You also get 4 pairs of eyes. But to me, they really aren't that different or interesting compared to the ones that the regular or the light-up heads come with the clear exception being the narrowed or squinting eyes. I'm glad they included a variety of them, which I'm sure some people will take advantage of. And what's Spider-Man without his webbing? Of which you get 4 strings in different shapes and sizes, all of which attach to his web shooters. And also included is this nanotech mask, which really doesn't make any sense, since the Iron Spider is a nanotech suit. And in the movie, Peter clearly removes the mask with a thought rather than his hand, so yeah. The last of the accessories are also the most plentiful in the form of 6 pairs of hands. That's right, a total of 12 interchangeable hands come with Iron Spider, which are just as detailed as the figure, including a pair of fists, a pair of relaxed hands, a pair of web shooting hands, a pair of hands to hold the webs, a pair of open hands, and a pair of gesturing hands. Hot Toys also gives you a stand with the Avengers insignia stenciled into a nicely colored art piece. This was the same piece that was included with the Thor Infinity War figure. I really like the serene and soft colors used, as well as the letter A sharply stenciled into the base, which has the words Marvel Avengers Infinity War, as well as the name Iron Spider. As a big fan of Spider-Man and the Iron Spider suit, I'm really loving the look of this electrifying and stunning figure. The issues I have it stem with the integration of the iron legs and the lines that appear on the figure after articulating it. But aside from those issues, this has got to be the best iteration of the Iron Spider suit that's come out so far. Barring, of course, the cinematic version of the suit, which ever made will cost about whatever Infinity War took in its opening weekend in the US. The Iron Spider from Hot Toys is a superb looking figure, and if you're a fan of this take of the suit, you've probably already bought it or pre-ordered it. It's been worth the wait. I'm Otaku Surf, and I'll see you around.
you.